Hello, UNICEF.
Dial, that's me. I play BLT. I'm the #1 dude on Degrassi. Yes, we're all on lunch, and I've got a hunch that you want to hear from the rest of this bunch.
It was totally fine in '59
when a bunch of countries agreed to sign
a declaration
for every nation
on the rights of the child. Hey, that was my line. We'd like you to hear that this is the year the rights of the child becomes a convention.
Say what?
What Dio and his friends are telling us is that 1989 is the year that the United Nations hopes to make the rights of the child law. When 20 countries have ratified the convention, the rights of the child will become binding. These rights can be grouped under 3 headings: provision, protection, and participation.
UNICEF man say what?
What?
If you'd like to remember these,
You can do it with relative ease.
just remember,
3 P's.
provision.
Lucy, don't forget my soccer game tomorrow, okay?
LD, how could I forget? You've only told me like 1,000 times.
Sorry, but it's the first game of the season, and it's embarrassing if no one shows up.
People always ask me what I am, and I figure I'm just me. But if you really want to know, I'm black and I'm white, I'm Jewish and Christian, and I'm American and Canadian. I know, it's a lot. My name's Anaya Skronowski, and I play Lucy Fernandez. Every child has the right to at least one name and nationality, a right some children just don't get.
For over 40 years, UNICEF has been the United Nations agency dedicated to the causes of children. The UN Convention declares that every child has the right to adequate nutrition and medical care.
I'm Kira Levy, and I play Maya. Maya gets around in an electric wheelchair, but I wear leg braces to help me get around. I'm lucky that the special care I need is available to me. And I hope soon special care will be available to every child who needs it. The right to special care, if disabled, is another right of the child.
What is the square root of 100?
10?
Comment s'appelez-vous?
Je m'appelle Anna.
Tell me another right of the child.
The right to a free education and time to play.
UNICEF. UNICEF. Protection.
When I was 9, I lived in Guatemala for 2 months with my family. I saw a lot of children there treated very poorly by their parents. I didn't understand why, so I asked my mom and dad, why are they treating them like that? They said it's so they can be better beggars. These people rely on their children to beg. Who could say no to a child? If they have a broken leg, if they're blind, if there's anything about them that can make you feel sorry for them, then they'll be better beggars and come home with more money.
The UN Convention declares that every child has the right to protection against all forms of neglect and exploitation, physical, mental, and sexual abuse.
Hi, I'm Andy Chambers. I play Luke on Degrassi. Last year, Luke was responsible for encouraging a friend to experiment with illegal drugs. Fortunately, that's just TV.
It's real acid?
Oh, it's incredible, man. It takes maybe half an hour before you feel anything, and it gets to you, and you're flying, man.
Yeah.
I love it.
You went to a concert last night with Shane McKay, is that right?
Hmm?
You taking any drugs?
No, he doesn't do that stuff. I don't know anyone who does that stuff.
The child has the right to be protected from the illegal use of drugs and involvement in drug production or trafficking.
We were there in 1980, just after the great earthquake had devastated the town of Antigua where I lived. A lot of things had been built up, but a few big churches and other buildings were still in rubble. A girl I went to school with, Maria. She was adopted by this lady because the rest of her family had been killed in the earthquake. She was one of the lucky ones.
The convention also declares that a child has the right to be among the first to receive relief in times of disaster.
Hi, Melanie.
Hey.
Your eyes are so blue, they seem like pimming swirls. Pimming swirls?
I was in a refugee camp in Laos for about 3 years with my family until I was 5. The camp was guarded by soldiers with guns, and you needed a special pass to come and go. And beside our camp, I remember, was some sort of army training camp. And one day I climbed the fence, and I saw a man get shot in the head. I still have nightmares every time I think about it. It's the governments and armies and politics that always create the wars, and children are always the victims.
The UN Convention declares that every child has the right to understanding, love, and affection.
I was about 4 or 5, and I just thought we were going on a long trip. But we went to a refugee camp. My 2 sisters and my parents and I were there for about 2 years. The camp was mostly made of tents. It was dry and dirty with no trees and a lot of people. It was a very sad and lonely place. A lot of the children were sick and very thin. And we didn't go to school because there wasn't one. When I first came to Canada, the only English I knew was ABC.
Kids have the right to be brought up in a spirit of peace and universal brotherhood.
Participation.
What would you like to be when you grow up?
An astronaut.
A truck driver. A writer.
An actress.
King.
What was the question?
I said, what would you like to be when you grow up?
I want to learn to become a useful member of society and develop my individual abilities, because that's my right.
And I have the right to an opinion and a say on every decision that affects my life.
All these are your rights. UNICEF will always work towards ensuring them for kids everywhere. And you're entitled to these rights regardless of
Race,
color,
sex, religion,
national or social origin.
For every boy and every girl, every kid around the world.
Got the right to food.
And affection.
School.
Identity.
And protection. You can be what you want to be. I have a say in what affects me.
To live in a drug-free society and get disaster relief priority.
To special care if handicapped.
That's all, folks. Our lunch is wrapped.
That sounds great. Man, it's gotta be good.
To live in peace and brotherhood.
Peace.
Now it's your turn to rap about the rights of the child.